Welcome back to Behind the Print podcast, where we feature industry leaders and uncover the creative minds and their businesses within the world of professional printing. Our mission is to provide you with inspiring, actionable resources that elevate your business projects and accelerate your journey to excellence in profit and print. Today's episode is the Professional Homegirl Coloring Book, and I'm here today with the founder and the Professional Homegirl, a creative brand that helps authenticity, empowers women, and turns real stories into art. Eboné Allman.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me, Zoe. I'm super excited to be here and speak with you. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we are so excited to have you. I have been looking forward to this podcast all week.
Me too. I feel like we have similar energy, like synergy going on. Because when you first told me, we were so excited through the DMs, and I'm like, yes, I definitely want to do this. So how cool is this? So thank you.
Exciting. Yes, yes. So tell me, who do you serve through the Professional Homegirl brand as a whole, and what does that responsibility mean to you as both a creator and a storyteller?
Oh my God. So who do I serve? I feel like for the most part, I feel like there's a professional home girl in all of us. But ideally, when I first created the professional home girl, I had myself in mind because when I was going through a lot of things in my upbringing and also just everyday life, because life be life. And I wanted this to be a love letter to all women, include especially women of color. So when they think of hard times, they can see themselves in these stories. And what was the second question? I feel like you asked me like a loaded question.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a loaded question. What does that responsibility mean to you to take that on as a creator and just empower other women?
Oh my God, it means so much. It's a huge responsibility because I feel like nowadays everybody has a mic. But for me, I really do feel like I'm walking in my purpose because I feel like we are using these different storylines to create lifelines. So the professional homegirl means so much to me because I know it is saving so many people's lives, including myself. So I'm really thankful that I was able to receive this vision from God and to be able to walk in it boldly.
Totally. I love that from book to real life. Like, it's just
Yeah.
helping people.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like in these times, like we need to encourage empathy, inspire hope. So I feel like with the coloring book and with the podcast, Pretty Private with Eboné, I feel like those two platforms merged into one is definitely doing that. So I hope that that's what people get from it because that's what I'm getting from it. And it's my project.
I love that so much. Inspiring yourself to inspire others.
Yeah, for sure.
So, speaking of inspiration, and you'd mentioned going through a tough time that really brought this project to life and
Mhm.
helped you kind of create that for other people. What kind of experiences do you hope your audience takes away when they sit down with one of your coloring pages?
So when I first created the coloring book, I always think of my favorite Jay-Z lyric, which is you can't heal what you don't reveal. And I think that a lot, right? Come on, Zoe, that was a bar,
That was a
right?
good one.
And then, I also think of my second favorite Jay-Z lyric is when he says, Hove went through that so you don't have to go through that. So I really do hope that when people are coloring these illustrations that, with this volume is geared towards career women and entrepreneurship because I feel like a lot of times a lot of women, including women of color, they're not able to see themselves in different fields because it's just not there. Like representation matters. And a lot of times, like for me, when I was growing up, and still to this day, I love scary movies, but I would have never thought that I would have been able to have a career as a film historian or a horror film historian at that, and until I had an interview with a woman, and she's a well-renowned Black film historian. And I'm like, wow, how cool is this? I'm like, girl, where were you at when I was growing up? So I hope that when people are looking at this coloring book, it inspiring them to dream and to just live life on their terms and to know that it is okay to pivot. I feel like I have so many different women from ages 10 years old to all the way up to 80 years old and telling me like, hey, like I'm just so thankful that you were able to make this coloring book or to have these stories on your podcast because a lot of people don't talk about different things like this within our community. So I really do hope that this inspires everybody to just try something new, and it's okay. Like if this person can do it, you can do it as well.
Totally. And I love how you're giving that representation. You mentioned how it's not really there, but you're the industry leader in that sense, creating this coloring book with
Yeah.
people of color in mind and just really creating something that can be something that kids look up to and say, I want
Yeah.
to be that. I want to do that. I want to experience that. So just giving that recognition and time into it, I bet that just means the world.
It does. And I would say also with this volume is because the first two that I did with Printing Center USA, it was strictly geared towards adults or grown-ups. So with this one, this is geared towards teenagers. And I feel like when I was growing up, like I didn't see coloring books like this. Like I feel like this coloring, right? I feel like this coloring book is very intricate. It combines storytelling with art. You know, it's a whole lot of different representation inside of each coloring page. So you definitely see yourself. There's something literally for everybody. So if you're an athlete, we have a story on Florence Gifford Joyner, the fastest woman in the world. If you are a singer, we pay homage to Moke and Stuff, an R&B, a legendary R&B group. Like I literally feel like there's literally something there for everybody. If you're into gaming or AI or virtual reality, we had an interview with the first virtual reality host, Cedar's World. So it's like there's something literally for everybody. And then I also talk about my journey with pivoting and changing my name and like so many different things. Like I just feel like this coloring book is literally like a personal manifesto. Like it's so many different things.
I love how you're going beyond just what everyday, day-to-day type of things are happening, and you're really looking into those perspectives of your audience. Who's my audience? My audience is
Right.
gamers. My audience is empowered women, entrepreneurs, teenagers. That's just so cool. You're hitting every base for me.
Yes, for real. Because I just feel like, nowadays, like you have to get creative when it comes to creating multiple streams of income. Like we are no longer in the days where a 9 to 5 is okay. Like you need more money. So I just hope that this coloring book encourage people to like just think outside the box. Like there are so many different ways to get into it. So I hope that that's what people get from it because I feel like when I look at it and where I'm at in my life personally, like I'm just like, wow, like this is like right on time. So
I love when things feel like that. So
right.
serendipitous, just like lines up great, comes full circle, and you see the
Yes.
big picture.
Yes, for sure.
So, what's your creative philosophy when it comes to making beautiful work? Like, how do you balance entertainment with empowerment and education in your projects?
I don't even know what balance means anymore. I feel like, what is balance, Zoe? You tell me. I
Oof.
don't know. I don't know if I have a creative philosophy on it. I feel like if it just feels good, like I'm a big like feeling type of person. So when it comes to me and my illustrator, shout out to Tip, we have such a great relationship, working relationship with each other. Like I feel like that's the best relationship I ever had. And because she just gets me and I think that she understands what I'm going for because I'm not sure if you saw the last two coloring books that we did with you all, but this coloring book going back to the first one is such a big difference. Like it's still on brand with the theme, but I just feel like it's more bolder, it's more richer, like, and it's also more realistic. Like I feel like the first coloring book, we didn't know what we were doing, and still, it's a great coloring book. It's a great intro, but I just feel like I don't think that we really took full charge of the possibilities of what we can put in a coloring book. So I think now when we was coming up with the ideas and stuff, and I'm like, hey, like I want it more bolder. Like I kept telling her like more, like add more details, like add this, that, because I feel like those little details really matter. And I would say that I had a story when I was on this workshop and I was on a coloring book workshop. And one of the girls, I think it was from volume 2, she received her illustration and it had tattoos on the girl's arm. And remind you, this girl was tatted up. So she was just so like emotional. She was crying. And I'm like, oh my God, like, is everything okay? And she was like, yeah, she said, I just never seen an image of myself in a coloring book with tattoos on it. And I think that's what drove me to like, okay, we need to make sure that everybody that purchases this book either see themselves or see somebody they know.
I love that. And it really does show from the first edition all the way up until your most recent edition because it
Right?
is bolder. It speaks way louder. And like you're saying, it has space for everyone who wants it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like I feel like the first one is like, girl, like what an upgrade. This volume 3 is so fire. Like I keep looking to my right because I'm like staring at it, but like I'm so obsessed with it.
That's so awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm excited for you. I like want everybody to get one of these coloring
Please
books.
do, please, please. Like it's so good. And I'm not just saying it because it's my coloring book, and also Zoe's not saying this because this is her company, but it's really good. Like it's just like I'm just so proud because I remember when the idea first came about and I was going to all these different bookstores during the pandemic. And most of these coloring books, no shade or anything, but it was either geometric shapes, it was flowers, it was girls with afros. Like it was just very safe. And I
Right.
feel like with the professional homegirl coloring books, like it's just so fire. Like it's so like, especially with me living in New York City, like I see these people in this coloring book every day. So it's just so cool to be able to put what you have in your mind to paper,
Totally.
literally.
And I see coloring books all day long, and none of them look quite like yours or
Talk
include the
about it,
people quite
Zoe.
like yours. It really, it just doesn't. That's just a fact. Like, they just don't. They're, like you're saying, mandalas or just types, different designs. Like, they're
The
nothing so
language.
impactful. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Oh, it's just so fire. And then it also is a beautiful combination of like, obviously different traditional career paths, entrepreneurship, but even the lingo, like we have an image of the girl saying clock it, we have a page dedicated to spirituality, religion. Like it's just so good. Ugh,
Oh, I love it. So
me
bold,
too,
so perfect.
right?
So, with the professional homegirl brand as itself, like I'd mentioned, just being bold and out there and a distinctive brand, what do you think sets you apart and sets your podcast apart?
Oh, I think what sets the professional homegirl brand apart, I mean, obviously myself, because I feel like, one of my powers or my gifts is I can make people feel seen. A lot of times when I have conversations on Pretty Private with Eboné, I never met these people before. Like I don't do prep calls. I probably can count on one hand how many times I had a prep call with my guest before we had an actual conversation. But I think that really speaks to who I am as a person. And I always wanted to be what I wanted a woman to be to me, and I wanted to be that to others. So I feel like with the professional homegirl, it really is a platform where we use these storylines to create lifelines and to also just inspire hope. Like I feel like a lot of times we go through things because I know when I was going through something, especially when I was younger, I really thought I was the only one that was going through it. I was like, oh my God, like, why do you not like me, God? But then when you have these conversations and you hear other people saying, oh, I went through it too, me too. Like this is what I did to get over it. Like I really do feel like this is the pink print for womanhood. And I feel like with these stories, there's different little breadcrumbs that you can take along the way on your own journey. So you don't have to go through the same things that I went through because I don't want my story to be in vain. If I went through all this stuff, I don't want Zoe to have to go through it because I'm putting you onto game so you can be able to navigate on your own journey through everything. So I just think with the professional homegirl and with the brand overall, especially with the podcast, like I don't know, I think it's just one of a kind. It's really special. It really means so much to me.
Totally. It seems to have had a pretty big impact on not just the professional homegirl brand, but the podcast as well, and just being this personal project that you've put so much time and effort into. And
Child, that's what
I'm
it's said.
curious, what would you say to other podcasters or people who are looking to start their own coloring book? What advice would you give them?
Well, when it comes to podcasting has been one of the hardest things I have ever done, if not the hardest thing, especially when you're trying to craft a well-crafted show. And, luckily I have the support from my network, Black Effect Podcast Network. Shout out to them because we were just together last night celebrating the 5-year anniversary. But, even with the network, I'm very hands-on because I know what my vision is. And I know can nobody else proofread my vision but me. But it requires a lot of hard work. So I would tell anybody that's interested in podcasting just to prepare for the long game and be consistent, be patient with yourself. You may not always make money in the beginning because I've been doing this for almost 7 years come next January. And I recently, maybe like a couple of years ago, just started making money. So I think that as long as you're walking in your purpose, the money will come, the people will come, and everything else that your heart desires will come. And I think that when it comes to the coloring book, I feel like the coloring book is it's just such a creative way to just get yourself out there even more. So for me, it was important for me to get these stories out there along with my podcast because that's how I get paid. But I just wanted to do something very creative. So I just think that the sky is the limit with coloring books. Like sometimes I'll go to different bookstores and I just walk around the coloring book aisle and just like, oh, I like how they did this, because that's market research, right?
Right.
So
Totally.
I just think that when it comes to coloring books, like go to different bookstores, see what people like. I was even asking people doing little surveys like, hey, do you color? What do you like to color? What do you like to use when you color? Like just things like that, because those little things really matter. So you can know about the paper quality, so you can know how thick you want the paper to be, or you can know if you want to do front and back. Like I feel like
Right.
there's such a big industry for coloring books, which I'm like, I gotta get a piece of this pie.
No kidding. No kidding.
Right. So I would just say, but I also would just say, just try. Like, I feel like a lot of times, like I would have never thought that I would be the founder or just a creator of a coloring book, let alone my third copy. So I would just tell anybody to just really try, like just keep throwing something against the wall until it stick. And I think also with the company Prentice in the USA, it has been so easy to be able to just hit somebody up if I have questions. The team is always willing to like walk me through everything because I'm always asking 1,000 questions because once everything is clear, that's it. So there's no
Right.
going back. But I just think that just doing your research and finding a company that's in alignment with what your goals are really, really makes a big difference. Because I feel like a lot of times these companies don't have customer service. Most of the times it's robots, and that's annoying. So I feel like with y'all have been super supportive and super helpful with this journey. So I'm really appreciative of that.
Yeah, we are always in your corner, counting on
Yeah.
you, cheering you on. We are always there for anything that you might need, and we're so totally glad to help. Like, we are just as excited as you are, almost.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, with Pretty Private with Eboné, your podcast, it's kind of emotionally charged and emotionally driven. So, for somebody who's looking to start a business in an emotionally sensitive space, what tips or advice would you give them for that?
Oh, that's a good question. Nobody ever asked me that question, Zoe. Come on, Oprah. I would say that for one, always check in with yourself because some of these conversations I'm having with people, I can probably count on one hand how many times a conversation has really really got to me. And for the most part, because I didn't have some crazy conversations, but I would definitely say just make sure that your mental health is able to have these conversations because you don't want to trigger yourself and the next thing you know you're triggering the guest and then y'all both just up here crying and stressed out. Like it can be a lot because I think a lot of times like when I had a conversation with this one particular lady, I won't say the name of the episode, but it was a lot. And this episode honestly broke me to a point where I was not going to air it. And so, can I say the episode? It's not vulgar or anything.
Sure, sure, go ahead.
So the name of the episode was My Father's Mistress Killed My Mom.
Wow.
Yeah. And so when you listen to it, you'll definitely understand why it was very difficult. But I also believe that when you have these difficult conversations to protect your audience, to always put a trigger warning in front of it, because you just never know how this can be able to, trigger somebody or bring back uncomfortable feelings. So I always tell my audience, like, hey, like, you don't have to listen to this one. I got about 300,000 more episodes you can listen to. But I said that to say that when I was doing this episode and I had to go back and edit, like I just could not finish it. So I had a conversation with my network. Next thing you know, we was all crying. But I think in that moment, it really reminded me of my why and my purpose. And that particular story really made me want to keep sharing even more similar stories because some of these things, when you think about it, you're just like, oh my God, like this is people real lives. Like how is this is like a Lifetime movie. But I think it's important for people who have platforms like myself and Print Center and all these other great platforms to really put these stories out there so we can let people know that they're not alone. So I think that if you do want to get into this space, I definitely think that you need to make sure that you do the work with your own mental health because I love therapy. I've been going to therapy. Well, now it's on and off, but I've been going to therapy for like almost 10 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, I feel like I'm
It's
healed now.
important.
Yeah.
That's
So
so good.
yeah, so definitely take care of your mental health before you get into conversations with people, especially those conversations that are emotionally charged because it can get pretty heavy.
Totally. That makes a lot of sense to me. And was that the moment where you were like, yeah, this, I need to keep doing this. This is the moment where you realized everything was needed for other people to share those stories and just empower other people and let them know that they're not alone? Or was it a different or built up to gradually type of thing?
Yeah, you know what? I think I had a couple of moments. I remember I had an interview very early on, probably like episode 9 or 10 or something. And I was interviewing a street pharmacist, and she was crying. She started crying because she was just talking about all the things and all the people she lost due to being a street pharmacist. And she's like a really tough, like woman, you know what I'm saying? So when she started crying, I was like, oh wow, like I got something here. Because I was always taught that if you can evoke emotion out of people, then you're doing something good. And so I think with her, and then also with the story I just shared with you, and then I think along the way, like I get little reminders, or like I feel like I call them God's winks. I feel like He gives me like little winks to let me know, like, okay, I'm on the right path, So I
Right.
feel, yes, I feel like when you are in tune with yourself and you are in tune with everything else, and you know you and your purpose because it feels good, I think that you'll know you're on the right path because you just get that feeling.
Totally, totally. I hear you. I love those little moments, those God's winks, as you'd call them. It's so peaceful in those moments.
Yeah, it's like he'd be like, here, girl, damn, like, huh?
You putting in the work, I'm gonna give it to you. I
Right,
got you.
right,
Got
right,
you. I'm gonna take care of you. Don't worry. Don't worry.
right.
So, what are some of the biggest challenges you're facing right now?
What are some of the biggest challenges I'm facing right now? I mean, besides being tired, I think for me, I think I'm in a space where I'm just always wanting more. And I feel like I'm constantly like pushing myself. I'm constantly like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Because it's not that I'm comparing myself, because I do believe that comparison is the thief of joy. But you just want to do more. But I feel like sometimes I need to just continue to trust the process. And I don't always trust it because I fall in and out of love with it, because I love what my platform stands for. But if anybody knows, when it comes to being an entrepreneur, it comes to like, building anything, it's a lot. It's a lot of work. I've been doing this for 7 years. Now we got the coloring books. Yeah. So it's just, I think that I need to find that balance between wanting more and also being content, because I worked so hard from where I'm at. And I remember praying to have moments like this, to have conversations with people, to finally see me and to see my work. Like I'm literally standing in the middle of answer prayers. But I also need to know, like, it's okay. Like you can want more, but also take in this moment. So I think that's one of my biggest challenges that I'm really trying to stop.
And I think successful people like yourself struggle with that a lot. The balance between wanting more and saying, okay, do I need more? Am I too busy right
Right,
now? Like
right.
that's just success coming to you in a little package.
Oh, thank you, Zoe. I need to hear that. That's what is
It's
exactly
true.
what it is. Yeah.
So on the flip side, what are some of your just biggest accomplishments, highlight moments, just something that really gets you excited?
Well, this coloring book that just came out, volume 3, please make sure you support and purchase at prettyprivatepodcast.com. I'm super excited about this. This is like one of the highlights of my years, because I was like, oh my God, I really want to push this out. I'm going to get them in some bookstores. I'm doing a color and silk workshops with a couple of different organizations. So I'm super excited because it's going to be a vibe. I'm also excited about, like I said, we just celebrated my network's 5-year anniversary. So I was one of the shows that they highlighted and had like a little conversation with about my journey with them and what this platform means to not only myself, but to people who see themselves in this show. So I just feel like this year has been just such an amazing, it's been such a good year. Like I had a billboard in Times Square announcing a rebrand. Yeah, like I had a lot of great, great moments. And it's so crazy because, there's a couple of things in my personal life I'm just like, ah, but in my entrepreneur life, it's like, wow, like I'm really starting to get to where I want to get to. My stride is starting to pick up. So it's just, I always tell people like just to give yourself grace, because that's something that I'm giving myself and I'm trying to teach myself, but also knowing when it's okay to pivot. And I think I'm in a season where I'm about to start pivoting when it comes to certain things in my life. But I'm very proud of myself. I came a very long way. Like I feel like I feel like I'm bootstrapping in this thing. So I'm super proud of myself. I mean, and also just coming from certain neighborhoods and like, just really betting on myself. I think that people do not bet on themselves a lot because of fear. And I think
Yeah.
that once you get to the other side of that, or even when you are afraid, like a lot of beautiful things have came out of fear. I don't know if you noticed, but my brand overall was birthed out of me losing my grandmother. She was like a mother to me. So I would have never thought that one of the worst days of my life would have created so many beautiful moments. So I feel like I'm just so thankful to be walking in this.
That is what a beautiful story. Like those little
Yeah.
moments that just come back and really empower your future. Like you never know what's going to happen until your future comes and then you're like,
Yeah,
wow,
seriously.
I would have never thought I could get through that, but here I am
Absolutely.
selling in everything.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
That's so cool. That's so cool. So what's something that people wouldn't expect out of your brand that you wish that they understood?
What is something that people wouldn't expect out of my brand? I think people have a hard time with the conversations that I have with my guests because I always try to put the medicine in the candy, right? Or the candy in the medicine. So I think that when
Yes.
people listen to these conversations, granted, some of them can get a little hard to listen, a little heavy, but I also feel like, these conversations are so important because this is how we eliminate generational curses, right? Because I feel
Yes.
like I said, you can't heal what you don't reveal. And also, I think it's different when you're in the situation compared to when you're on the outside looking in. So a lot of these guests have already moved forward from the current situation that we're talking about at hand. So I think a lot of times when people hear the conversation, they like, oh, well, they making it seem like it's like this and that. No, we're not making it seem like it's like. We're trying to give you hope and let you know that, hey, once you get past this speed bump in your life, you can look back and laugh at it too. Cause I'm like, it's been plenty of times, and I'm pretty sure you can agree with this when you look back and be like, wow, like I really got over this. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think that that's something that people are still like trying to, I think people appreciate the fact that I can make a conversation so light, but they can still receive the nuggets that they need. But I think a lot of times when people are listening to these conversations, especially when they in it, I can see why it's a little bit triggering because I definitely had a situation when somebody gave me a bad review, and I was like, "Girl," and I, I was so annoyed. I was like, "Girl." But I think these comments, like, I also feel like a lot of people are not having the conversations that I'm having. Like, I'm talking to people who have survived a lot of traumatic events, especially at the hands of their families. So I think that, a lot of this stuff can be sensitive, but it's like we have to have these conversations. And then I also don't approach my conversation. Like I ask the questions that everybody want to know, but I don't approach it in a journalistic way. Like I actually approach these as like, I'm your home girl. Like we've been knowing each other for 1,000 years. And it literally feels like you're eavesdropping into a conversation. So
That's so fun. And I love how you mentioned generational curses and how if we don't talk about them, we can't
we
break them.
don't. Yeah.
It's so true. It's just so true. It's a fact of life that a lot of people have a hard time coming to the realization about or just accepting in general. And it can be hard.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that's why we gotta have these tough conversations. Because who wants to keep struggling? Like, girl, how did you get out of this situation? Like, I wants to know. Like, because you get tired of just like feeling like you in the same rut. Like like you're stuck. But it's like we're not passing these gems amongst each other. They really help each other out. Like that is what community is all about. So we can be able to support each other and move forward. I don't want to be in the same situation I was yesterday. If I'm in the same situation I was yesterday, then I'm not learning. I'm not growing. And why would I not want the same for you? You know?
That's so cool. Yeah, exactly, exactly. And I love how it's teaching other people in a way that's just friendly and just like they can take the
Yeah.
little nuggets of inspiration, like you were saying, and use those, apply them to their life. And it's uncountable. You can't even count the amount of people that you have helped and don't know.
Oh my God, please. The amount of emails I receive, I would never forget this one. This is another one that I was like, okay, I know I'm working in my purpose. It's this girl. She emailed me and pretty much she was telling me how she was listening to an episode about one of my guests, and it was very similar to what she was going through. And she said that because of this episode, she didn't take her life. And Yeah, and in that moment, I started crying because I'm like, wow, like this is a complete stranger. But like that's why when you have these microphones, when you have a platform, like you have to take it seriously because you just never know who's listening to it. Like these platforms are really changing people's lives. So I take it so seriously when it comes to the conversations I'm having on this show.
I love it. I love it. That's so empowering, so inspiring, and everybody listening should definitely check out Pretty Private.
Yes, please. I keep my
Pretty
check
Private
coming.
with Eboné.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, onto a little bit lighthearted. What would you do if you had a day completely free to spend however you like? No podcasts, no interviews, no checking social or posting. What would you be doing?
Oh my God. So probably reading because I love to read. I haven't read as much because I'm like super busy, but I'm like, no, let me find time to incorporate this into my schedule. So sometimes I try to wake up a little bit earlier so I can be able to read before I start my day. And also, if I'm not doing anything, like I love to eat and I love watching scary movies. Like I love scary movies. Like Halloween is like my one of my favorite holidays. Like I am obsessed with scary movies. Like I can tell you the origin story of every scary movie there is. Like I geek out about it.
So, what's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, hands down, Halloween. I think
Halloween.
Halloween is the best franchise ever because we got a beginning and we got an ending.
Yeah, and I love how it's not really a modern movie, like the new like
Yes.
action stuff. It's really set in the scenes of what Halloween feels like when it comes to be
Yes.
October.
Right. I'm like, why are you trying to kill this girl, Michael? What happened? Like, but then my
Oh my
girl, she
gosh.
started fighting back. Like oh my God, I can watch it. Like I'm probably gonna start watching it because I've been doing it since I was a kid. I'll watch all my favorite Halloween, scary movies like Halloween, all these scary movies, and I get all my favorite snacks, and I just sit in the dark and just watch them over and over again. It's so crazy, but I love it. Love, love,
Yeah,
love.
October is a perfect month for that. I do something similar and it comes back every year and you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's that time. I get to watch the scary movies again
Right.
and
Wait,
just chill."
Do you love scary movies too?
I do love scary movies.
Oh yay! So what's your favorite scary movie?
Ooh, I really like the one 47 meters down. It's about these girls who go on like a scuba diving trip and then their cage that they're in to see the sharks like falls
Oh,
down.
I think I saw
And
that one. That's an older movie though, right?
a little bit older,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I saw that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was
Oh my
good.
gosh.
That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's more of a thriller, I would say,
that
but
is a
scary
thriller.
movies are just so good.
Yeah, because I feel like with thrillers, like I feel like you can actually like, oh, like this can really happen in real life. So I feel like, yeah, like thrillers, I love them, but sometimes I be like, oh, I can't really watch it. Like home invasions, I cannot watch them. Like when I tell you I go crazy, like no.
You're laying in your bed thinking about who's gonna break into your house type.
Right.
Oh gosh. No, I
No.
totally hear you. I hear you on that one. So, for anyone who is listening and wants to get in contact with you, connect with you, listen to the podcast, or follow you on social media, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram at the Professional Homegirl and also at Pretty Private Podcast. You can also follow me on TikTok at Pretty Private Podcast. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I am like super obsessed with YouTube. You can subscribe to it at the Professional Homegirl channel. And last but not least, if you have a story and you would love to be a guest on the show, all of my guests, well, most of my guests are anonymous. So we have Spooky series, we have the Men series, and we have Pretty Open. So the Pretty Open series is where the guests are not anonymous. But if you would love to be on the show, if you have a story where you want to be able to inspire and use your storyline to be somebody else's lifeline, please make sure to email me at hello@thepsgpodcast.com.
Woohoo! Cool, cool. So you
Right.
guys heard her. Check her out. Be sure to
Yes.
subscribe on YouTube and watch some of those videos that
Oh, and
are
you can
from the
listen to
podcast.
yes, and you can listen to Pretty Private with Eboné wherever you get your audio at. It's available everywhere.
That's true. That's true. I checked. I checked, guys.
Yay!
Pretty private with Eboné anywhere.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Zoe. You did such a great job. You
Well, we are
covered my
so
job.
thank you. You did such a good job. I'm so glad to have you on the show, and this is just so exciting.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Cool. Well, that's a wrap on another episode of Behind the Print podcast. Thanks to our listeners for watching as we've explored the artistry and innovation of the printing world. Remember, having a strong vision, using tools like print to amplify your message will make your brand stand out from the crowd. If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, there's always more to discover behind the print.